They can hate it. They can hate it all they want. Shedeur Sanders is QB1. Anybody but Shedeur Mafia, it's not.
Is it genuinely possible for a single practice throw to alter the entire trajectory of an NFL franchise before the regular season even begins? When the Cleveland Browns stepped onto the practice field for Day 5 of training camp, the narrative was supposed to remain steady, controlled, and corporate. The coaching staff wanted everyone to focus on incremental growth, veteran leadership, and playbook installation. But when the ball left Shedeur Sanders' hand during a high-stress
faults, admit that you was jealous and lying and hating because Shedeur Sanders is the best quarterback that you have on this roster. Shedeur Sanders stood out with another 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, and a practice closing walk-off touchdown that sent the roster, his teammates, into a frenzy. We got to get into it, man. Welcome to Keep the Vision. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share the channel, hit the bell notification, hype the video. That'd be greatly appreciated. Let's get right into things. We going right to the tape.
2-minute drill and sailed 40 yards downfield into the waiting hands of his receiver. All the carefully prepared script notes instantly vaporized. The eruption from the sideline was immediate, loud, and impossible to ignore. Teammates sprinted into the end zone, celebrating a walk-off touchdown that felt less like a simple practice rep and more like a seismic shift in the organization's hierarchy. The front office can issue all the diplomatic press statements they want, but the film doesn't lie, and the players on that field know exactly what they just witnessed. A changing of the guard isn't just brewing in Believeland. It has officially breached the surface. To understand why that single walk-off throw sent shockwaves through the entire facility, you have to look at the footage leaking out from
sending the boys home on a touchdown. Take a look at this beautiful deep ball. Right to Larvindale. Practice over.
every angle of practice. During the final team period, with the game on the line and the clock ticking away, Shedeur dropped back under intense pressure, bought himself a microsecond of space in the pocket, and launched an absolute missile to Larvindale for the game-closing score. The play didn't just end practice. It unleashed a frenzy among the offense that proved where the real emotional energy of this roster currently resides. Later in that same session, Shedeur did it again, dropping a buttery deep bomb over double coverage straight into the hands of KC Concepcion for another explosive touchdown. The arm talent, the touch, and the calm composure in high-pressure moments are putting enormous heat on the coaching staff. The critics who claimed his game wouldn't translate to the professional level are suddenly finding themselves with very little ground to stand on.
Football team, and everybody kind of gets the same treatment where he's coaching them real hard, he's loving them harder. Today was a raggedy day, and I guess that's the word I'm going to use because with that first day of pads on, the defense being ahead, the offense kind of looked raggedy. They had offsides, they had a lot of missed assignments, a lot of guys running free. Things you expect, first of all, if you have a veteran offensive line, their offensive line's brand new, so there's a lot to learn. Again, raggedy is the word I'm going to use. There are other words that...
But while highlight clips capture the internet's attention, the underlying statistical tracking numbers reveal an even more terrifying reality for the established starter. When you strip away the hype, the media bias, and the emotional arguments, the cold, hard numbers through 5 days of training camp paint a devastating picture for the current depth chart. Through 107 total pass attempts, Shedeur has completed 72 throws for 6 touchdowns and just a single interception, operating with a crisp, efficient 67% completion rate. Compare those figures to Deshaun Watson, who has attempted 115 passes, completing 71 for 3 touchdowns while throwing a staggering 6 interceptions. Let those numbers sink in for a moment. A rookie operating in his first ever NFL installation environment is putting up a 6-to-1 touchdown-to-interception ratio, while the multimillion-dollar veteran is turning the ball over twice as often as he finds the end zone. The contrast is so sharp that even local beat reporters are struggling to maintain the standard front office talking points. Fans who used to hide behind the phrase, "it's just non-padded shorts,"
physical errors. The mental errors, he makes them start over. He backs them up. He yells at the guys, but then, kind of encourages them well. He's just coaching them hard, and I like it. I like the fact that he is consistently consistent, right? He's making his guys do it right. No matter who you are, where you're drafted, what year you are, he's expecting it. And I go back to what he said, right? I hate bad football, and you can see that out of him. He wants his offense to be efficient.
Were forced to swallow their words when the pads finally came on, and the statistical gap only grew wider. But the physical reality of full pads brought a whole new set of brutal challenges to the entire offense. Day 5 represented the absolute first time the team buckled up full pads and engaged in real, violent trench warfare, and to describe the session as anything less than chaotic would be a complete understatement. On-site reporters Daryl Reuter and Lance Riesland openly described the offensive output as raggedy and disjointed, as the brand-new offensive line struggled to process basic blocking assignments. When you put a newly assembled front line against a defensive front loaded with monsters like Mason Graham, Jared Verse, Michael Hall, and Alex Wright, bad things are bound to happen. Graham and Verse were virtually unblockable, penetrating the backfield on nearly every third snap and forcing quarterbacks to make lightning-fast decisions under pure panic. In an environment like
you have with him, it's either really good or really bad. And what he's looking for is consistency. And again, those guys going against that number one defense, they're always looking worse than the other guy. Now, yesterday I thought Shedeur was
that any hesitation in reading the defense leads to immediate destruction. The chaos was so visible that offensive coordinator Todd Monken was constantly stepping into the middle of huddles, blowing plays dead, and physically backing players up to make them restart reps from scratch. Monken's core coaching philosophy is simple and uncompromising. He hates bad football, and he refuses to let physical or mental mistakes slide, regardless of who is under center. And it was inside that pressure cooker environment that the rookie ran straight into his first major professional reality check. While Shedeur's highlight reel from
drill, walk-off touchdown. Deshaun Watson, 13 of 25, no touchdowns, no picks. Dylan Gabriel, 7 of 12, no touchdowns, no picks. Taylor Green, 3 of 4, no touchdowns, no picks. Now let's take a look at the overall. Matter of fact, let's get into one more. Let me give you one more. We got Shedeur Sanders to KC Concepcion. The arm talent is there.
Day 5 was undeniably impressive. His afternoon was far from flawless, exposing a critical area where his youthful instinct almost cost his team. During a high-stakes situational fire drill period designed to simulate an end-of-half operation with only 5 seconds remaining on the clock, the objective was simple. Get the snap, deliver a quick throw to the perimeter, or throw the ball away immediately to allow the field goal unit to rush onto the field. Instead, when the play broke down, Shedeur held onto the ball, scrambled outside the pocket, and tried to hunt for a home run throw downfield until the final seconds completely ticked away to zero. The operational mistake left Todd.
When Deshaun was operating the offense, Todd, and the coaches, they're blowing the play dead. Todd's getting in the huddle, coaching the guys up and whatnot. We saw that all day long with him. And to be a fly on the wall in the huddle to hear what Todd was saying.
Well, the good thing is that none of these
Monken so visibly exasperated that he dropped his hands to his knees in pure frustration right there on the sideline. In a real Sunday game, taking a sack or running out of bounds as time expires robs the franchise of 3 automatic points on the scoreboard. It was a classic rookie blunder, proving that while his raw talent is off the charts, his situational clock management still requires serious polish. But while Shedeur's mistake was a clear learning moment, the veteran starter's ongoing struggles feel far more concerning. The narrative,
but you see it getting better and better. So as they get through installs, these type of conversations are going to mean more later in the week when installs are done and they start getting ready for games.
All right, let's talk about Shedeur Sanders' situational awareness. We got to see some fire drills
surrounding Deshaun Watson's camp performance has officially crossed into dangerous territory for the organization. On plays where Watson executes cleanly, he looks like a capable quarterback, but beat reporters noted that every single rep with him under center currently feels like an extreme coin flip. It's either a routine completion or an absolute disaster. When going against the primary first-team defense, Watson has frequently looked rushed, indecisive, and
Ryder and Lance Riesling was there on site, and they spoke about what they saw at practice today.
In here, and how he's really coaching these guys hard in practice, Lance. We saw multiple times, especially early.
Completely out of rhythm with his receivers. Defenders of the veteran argue that early camp sessions are strictly meant for playbook installation, meaning mistakes are a natural part of testing boundaries against complex defensive schemes. But when an offensive line is struggling to pick up blitz packages from elite edge rushers, having a quarterback who hesitates in the pocket only multiplies the structural damage. If your brain is overthinking the installation, your feet stop moving, and in the NFL, static feet in the pocket mean turnover opportunities for the secondary. The coaching staff is desperately trying to preach patience and consistency, but the visible contrast between
half operation, whereas end of game or end of the first half operation, getting the field goal unit on with the clock running, or trying to kill the clock in time to get the field goal unit on and whatnot. Deshaun Watson did.
Watson's erratic volatility and Shedeur's dynamic playmaker energy is creating an unavoidable rift. That operational contrast is slowly giving rise to an unspoken shift inside the locker room that no PR team can suppress. Football players are inherently pragmatic. They don't care about contract sizes, salary cap hits, or draft pedigree when they step between the lines. They simply want to play alongside the guy who gives them the absolute best chance to win. When receivers see Shedeur stepping into the huddle, maneuvering through broken pockets, and dropping walk-off bombs into tight windows, their confidence naturally skyrockets.